Venus and Mars, the cosmic lovers, are squaring off Thursday, August 22nd at 22 degrees Virgo and Gemini, respectively. All is fair in love and war. Hello, my name is Eliane Nicole. I'm your astrologer and tarot reader, and in this video, I am going to talk about what it means when the cosmic lovers go head to head in a conflict in the sky. But first, I want to say I'm only posting the first half of this video on Instagram. So please make sure you go to YouTube. I will post the entire video there. Go to my YouTube channel, Eliane Nicole. My YouTube channel is my name. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and leave a comment there and hit the notification button there so that you can be notified whenever I post a new video. And if you're watching on Instagram, make sure that you are following astrology.tarot.Eliane Nicole. Please like, please leave a comment, please help me in the algorithm. And now I will go on to explain what it means when the cosmic lovers square off in the sky. And this transit will be personal to you if you have any planets at 22 degrees, especially any of the mutable signs. And also it could be experienced very personally if you are Venus ruled, meaning if you are a Taurus rising or a Libra rising, or if you are Mars ruled, meaning if you are a Scorpio rising or an Aries rising. Otherwise, it might be a transit that you are observing happening for family and friends, or else on the world stage in the headlines. On a personal level, Venus and Mars have they have a lot to do with, sex and attraction. I would say this is an aspect when the cosmic lovers square off. Well, first of all, why are they square? They're at a 90-degree angle. 90 degrees are hard angles. But that hardness can be used for fucking or fighting. Excuse my language. But seriously, there is that kind of tension between the cosmic lovers where it's like, make love, not war. Or you could even say, there's a tension there, and we can build with that tension, or we can fight with that tension. For artists, it can be very creative to use that tension to create. But, in general, Mars, who deals with war, friction, fighting, he is the planet that also rules our passion and our desire and how we go for those desires. And Venus is the goddess of love and beauty and how we receive and how we attract. And Mars is in Gemini right now. So Mars in Gemini has more than one interest. He's not focused on a single attraction. He has more than one attraction. And Venus is in Virgo, so she's being very critical and nitpicky, and maybe even, I don't even like to use the word naggy, because it's a little bit of a, I don't know, I would maybe even call that a male chauvinist kind of word, but hey, what do I know? But Venus wants perfection, and Venus in Virgo and Mars in Gemini, they're both very in their head because they're both in Mercury ruled signs. So in one respect, at least they have that in common, but in another respect, they're two in their head, which being two in your head isn't great for romance or sex, which is what Venus and Mars, really would rather be doing with each other than over analyzing and fighting and nitpicking or that kind of thing. But if they can have a great meeting of the minds, that can be very attractive to both of them. So, if they are forming a trine to any of your personal planets, while they're in this aspect, you may be finding that you are having a very attractive mental connection or meeting of the minds with someone. But in general, this is a very conflicted angle that Venus and Mars are having with each other. And so it can make for, bickering, arguing, fault finding in relationships, infidelity on Mars's end in some cases, or Mars just not knowing what he wants. All of this is possible, and it can manifest in a myriad of ways. Any one of those ways, there's probably even ways that I'm leaving out. Whenever I do these videos, I'm giving the very broad strokes. The best way to understand these aspects is to get a personal one-on-one reading with me. That's how astrology works best, when you're working one-on-one with an astrologer and you have an awareness of your chart, where these planets are moving through your chart, and that gives a better specific story to how it would manifest for you. And of course, if the degree is personal, in general, on a more general level, if you're looking at the collective level, this is a conflict between the divine masculine and the divine feminine, not seeing eye to eye on issues, which again, that can cause conflict in relationships. But Venus on the world stage also rules justice, and Mars rules war. So this can show that there is, unjust things happening, that justice is under threat, that justice is under attack. Because Mars is in Gemini, and so both Mars and Venus being in Mercury-ruled signs is interesting, because Mercury is currently retrograde in Leo. So Mercury is reviewing, on a personal level, what his heart wants. Also Mercury is reviewing what he wants his legacy to be. Mercury in Leo is reviewing, past loves, past affairs of the heart, reviewing issues with children or childhood. So Mercury is kind of going back over the past and in a more reflective state, which could also be adding to the conflict that's going on between the lovers right now, the cosmic lovers. And I call them the cosmic lovers because for millennia, artists, poets, ancient cultures and mythology have written stories about how Venus and Mars, the planets, chase each other around in the sky. And that's where the meaning of these archetypes is derived from. And they have this romance where they're always chasing each other around in the cosmos. And depending on how they are aspecting each other, it has an oracular divinatory meaning for what's going on with love and sex and attraction and justice and peace and war down on planet Earth. And what's interesting is that as different as Mars are and Venus are, the goddess of love and beauty and the god of war, they are always with each other. They are never separate. So in even the seemingly most beautiful romantic situations, Mars is pregnant. Mars is present. See, that's Mercury retrograde, messing with my words. All right, Mercury, I see you. But yeah, Mars is present wherever Venus is. Mars is always present in beauty, in justice, in romance. And wherever Mars is, Venus is always present in war, in competition, in sports, and I could go into a deeper, longer video on this. I don't want to, because I want to stick to just this transit tomorrow. But yeah, so you see it operates a little bit different for personal birth chart readings versus what it means for the collective. And it's always operating on both levels. And, you know, when I do one-on-one readings, I really stick to what's going on in people's personal lives more. If that's what they want to know, I'm happy to talk about what's happening in the collective if that's what people are interested in. But in these videos, I kind of try to go back and forth between what it can mean in a personal chart and what it means in the collective experience, particularly as we head towards this election in America where I'm reading, because a lot of people are very interested in how this is all going to unfold. But this astrology applies to what's happening in America, but it also applies to what's happening on a global level, because we are all, you know, for all intents and purposes, under the same sky. We are all experiencing the same cosmic currents, but we're interpreting them in varying ways depending on our own personal astrological coding. And so different people will experience certain aspects in different ways depending. But in general, when the cosmic lovers are in conflict, it's difficult for relationships. You know, it tends to bring up the issues and the problems, and because they're both ruled by a retrograde Mercury as this happens, it indicates that things from the past may be coming up. Because Mars is in Gemini, it seems like he may be scattered with his interests. Because Venus is in Virgo, it seems like she may be being very nitpicky and critical. Venus is in her detriment in Virgo, which is also not great for relationships. This is not a blanket statement. Some people may be thriving and flourishing under these aspects because of how it connects with their personal astrology. So you always have to take into account your personal astrology. I am just giving general readings in these videos that I do. You know, the most common denominator of how this will be experienced in a general level. But yeah, in the collective, this means that Venusian ideals are under attack in some way. So beauty, art, justice, money in some cases, health in some cases are under attack. And ultimately, even though Mercury is the dispositor of this Mars and Venus, he is ruled by the Sun in Virgo, because the Sun will enter Virgo hours before the square becomes exact. And so because he's in Virgo, he is in the same sign with Venus, and Venus and Mercury are in mutual reception. They are kind of working together. So, and again, you know, this mercurial energy is tough in matters of love on a personal level, because we are too in our head. On a more global level, on a more collective level, I think that I don't know, it's not necessarily as bad to be in our head about Mercury and Venus issues, probably. Hopefully we can build with this conflict with creative solutions because of how intelligent both signs are. That's what they have going for them. They are both Mercury ruled, both very intelligent, and can hopefully come up with creative solutions to resolve whatever conflicts are going on. Make love, not war. Thank you for joining me.